It's a very beautiful day here, regardless of where you're watching this from. This is all about the game. Special thank you to you for joining us yet again, like you've been joining us from the first day of the World Cup up until now. My name is Babajide Guerrero. Remember, this one is a special diary program on the World Cup and all it's regarding right there for the World Cup happening in Russia. Brought to you by AfriOne Mobile and Now. Of course, you know for a fact that AfriOne Mobile is the first ever made in Nigeria smartphones and tablets, and now Nigeria's fastest mobile wallet. I'm not alone in the studio today. You know, Biola Kazim had his own phone right there in St. Petersburg. Hey, I brought phone to the studio. Now, let me just tell you a brief little bit of story, football folklore about my guest in the studio at this time. Remember, in France, 1998, a certain Fernando Hierro scored at the 21st minute in the Nigerian versus Spain game, and that particular time it was all doom and gloom. Fast forward 3 minutes after that time, a certain man with the jersey number 8 stood up tall and nodded the ball past a certain Andoni Zubizarreta. That certain man is certainly here in the studio right now. They call him the headmaster, but he is Mutiu Adepoju, the legendary, the iconic number 8. Mutiu Adepoju, how are you doing, sir?
I'm fine, thank you.
Always a pleasure to have you join us. How are you,
pleasure
sir?
Is mine. I'm happy to be here.
Definitely. Mutiu Adepoju, you've played to the heights of heights, starting from Shooting Stars to Racing Santander to Real Madrid. So many. You've been there, you've done that over the years. And this is the World Cup. So far, so good. How would you, now removing Nigeria as an element, but generally now, how would you evaluate the quality of the World Cup we've seen so far?
Well, generally, I think, and I believe that, the World Cup, has lived to the standard that that is expected. And even more countries, there are more surprises, more shockers, and it's been a little bit tight in some, groups, like, the groups, this Group B. Today, Spain,
we just saw it.
Portugal, almost lost Iran. To Morocco. Yeah. Then Portugal, almost beat Iran. So, it's been very tight, and other groups too. And I've been enjoying it. Because it has not been predictable.
Absolutely.
The big teams that you would have thought that in the first game they were going to beat like Germany lost against Morocco, and even against Mexico. Definitely. And even yesterday they were about losing to Sweden, if not for Toni Kroos, his goal that made them come back. So I believe he's been living to expectations.
Definitely, that's the thought of Mutiu Adepoju, the iconic number 8 for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. And of course, if I know you don't know Mutiu Adepoju, I'm sorry, I don't know what you know again about football in this country. But Mutiu, going forward from the Nigerian perspective, a lot of people, especially in the game against Croatia, were absolutely disgruntled. They were not happy as a result of that 2-0 bashing we got from Croatia. But the boys rallied around, and of course themselves, against Iceland, they won 2-0. And you have a feeling that that particular victory has heightened the level of optimism going forward against Argentina. You've played to the heights of heights. I'm sure in the game against Spain, the boys were a little bit, would I say, were you at any point intimidated in France 98 when you saw the likes of Raul, Hierro and the likes?
No, not at all. The only thing was that, the fact that, we didn't win any game during our preparation to the World Cup. Even the last game we lost against Holland, 5-1. And getting to the World Cup, we just have to, we had to just, sum up courage and talk to ourselves that, we cannot just come to the World Cup and, lose woefully. People are going to be heartbroken at home and all that. And that was why we just, came back and we started. Looking at this World Cup, it's normal for everyone, for Nigerians, because the expectation that people are before the World Cup beating Argentina in the friendly games, and I mean qualifying without losing any game, and in a manner that people were thinking that Nigeria is going to be forced to reckon with at the World Cup, and get into the first game and losing against Croatia. Everyone was very, very heartbroken, very, very sad, and people were saying lots of things. But football, I always say, is not mathematics, and all matches are different. Not every game are the same. You understand? So coming against Iceland, Iceland. It was a very, very good game. I had known that Croatia was going to be difficult, and first game is always very important in the World Cup. But the players came back, and they played very well against Iceland, and they got the 2 goals, and they are in the race. So looking at Argentina for tomorrow, I believe that the players are still going to come, but it's not going to be easy. If our players don't run, if they play it passive, it's going to be difficult against Argentina. But because they are coming like a wounded lion, Argentina has never been like this before, and they've never got out of the World Cup in the first round. So tomorrow they're going to come very strong, and we just have to live with it, and do everything possible to make sure that we stop them, and we get the qualification to the second round.
We saw a little bit of change of approach. In the first game against Iceland, we saw a 4-3-3 formation by Gennett Rohr. In the second game, we saw a 3-5-2. And a lot of people have been advocating that it should not change a winning team. What do you have to say to this?
Well, normally, you don't change a winning team, but the fact is that, all the players that went for the World Cup is for a purpose, and none of them has gone there to go and be a part or just to go and joke.
Absolutely.
So I believe any one of them that is used, they're going to try their best. The only thing is that, how the best is going to be good enough to win against Argentina. Let's just say that you don't change a winning team. The formation and the team worked against Iceland, so yes, I believe there should be that continuity, so that the players that are garnered confidence and all momentum, they could continue it like that.
Well, speaking of momentum, guys, we also can tell you for free that Group A and B is signed, sealed, and delivered. Saudi Arabia and Egypt played a little bit of a loser's final game, and eventually Saudi Arabia winning that particular one 2-1. Sad one for Egypt right there, especially with their man Mo Salah. Moving on as well, we can also tell you that Portugal and Spain have successfully qualified, for the second round of the tournament. When we saw Portugal picking up a draw with Iran, as well as Spain picking up a draw with Morocco, that earned them 1 point apiece, and then they moved forward. We'll be looking forward to what would happen when Super Eagles of Nigeria recover, of course, what they want to get. That's 3 maximum points against Argentina. We're looking forward to the happenings in that particular game, as well as Croatia will be playing the last team in that group, Iceland. And it's quite delicate, this particular game. Mutiu, we saw earlier that Portugal almost needing Spain to do a job against Morocco. Yes. It was more like a relationship.
Exactly. Even at first, if Spain was needing Portugal
to do the business.
So, when we started watching, we were saying that if Portugal will not allow Iran to equalize, so that Spain can qualify, and just a few minutes after it changed. Spain scored, equalized, and now Iran scored, and Portugal is now at the mercy of Spain. Very interesting, very interesting. It's been a very, very interesting World Cup.
Absolutely, Mutiu, and that just tells you how very delicate this particular group, especially from Group B, Group C going forward. And remember that Nigeria will be hosting the continental flag for Africa, knowing fully well that Tunisia and Morocco have been sent back in from the tournament. And regardless, as Morocco, Tunisia, and Egypt as well. Now Nigeria will be playing, of course, against Argentina, and Senegal will be playing in Group H against Colombia in that all-important game. Of course, fun thing about being important, you are very important to us. All we need you to do to just exhibit your level of importance to us is to go to our social media platforms at of course, AfriOne Mobile as well on social media. That's Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Do well to send your messages as well as your predictions of the game. The game in focus, you don't need a sorcerer to be told. The game has to be Nigeria taking on Argentina. People have been winning. They've been winning big time in terms of cash rewards. They've been winning big time in terms of vouchers as well as smartphones, courtesy AfriOne Mobile and Nana. And you too can join this very elite cast of people that have smiled to the bank literally. And speaking of smiling, Biola Kazim is right there in St. Petersburg, and Biola is not smiling. Biola is cold. Hey Biola, how you doing? How's the cold holding up with you? All right, so the battle for who finishes first and second resumes, of course, in Group A and B. What's your review for that particular group as you saw things really shaped up nicely?
All right, Babajide, I mean, obviously, all of the teams who are through to the next round of the competition now, quite a few of them are actually, I'm talking about people like Russia, talking about Uruguay, talking about a few other countries, Croatia, for instance. They'll all be looking to finish first or second. First, mainly, in your groups, even though if you look at some of the group permutations, it might be better for you to finish second. That means you can control what it is that you can control. For instance, we are all looking forward to who will finish first between Spain and Portugal. Everyone also is looking forward to Russia and Uruguay, but I think probably the most exciting one will be England and Belgium, who have both scored a lot of goals in their group, who have the same number of points as well, who have both qualified. People are wondering, would they go hard against each other, knowing that tougher battles await them in the second round, in the quarterfinals, semi-finals, or finals if they make it that far. So that has a bit of spice to the last round of games in many groups, even though there are a few dead robbers. People like Egypt will be playing for pride, people like Morocco, people like Iran. But hey, it is what it is. If you are through to the next round, you want to make sure that you optimize your chances of going through, not just going through to the second round, but also maybe getting a lucky draw. But again, the most important thing to control is your performance, because we've seen many teams who seemingly got a lucky draw and that got knocked out of the competition because they didn't bring their A game to the table. So all eyes will be peeled on that one between England and Belgium. Will they go for it, or will they just share points because they have the same number of goals, they have the same number as well of points, and there are a lot of players who play in England who are in the Belgian team that also will add another level of spice to things in that group.
BK, it's a crucial game between Nigeria and Argentina. We hear that the Argentines have a little bit of issues, in their camp. And as well, from a Nigerian perspective, a lot of people want to know whether or not Roa would stick to that particular formation he used against Iceland. How do these features in the game, how do they affect this huge and very crucial game going forward?
But talking about the game between Nigeria and Argentina tomorrow, like I told you, town is buzzing. My phone lines have been going off. All of my friends who are in other parts of Russia are all in town for that game. The tickets for that game, believe it or not, the black market is going for more than $1,000. People are buying tickets for $1,200, $1,500. That's all of the pressure on the spring. I mean, people are investing so much money. The least they were expecting that the boys should come out tomorrow and do all of us proud. I'm talking about doing us proud. What team is going to Raw select? That is the big issue here. A lot of people feel that the team is selected against Iceland is probably the best they can put out, not just in terms of the personnel, but also the system issue that we played against Iceland. Some will say to you that three at the back, we're up against Lionel Messi, might be dangerous. But that's why he gets paid all of that money to make this very tough decisions. We saw Tyrone Eboye coming in the second half, put up a very good performance on the left-hand side. We will be tempted, for instance, to start with Tyrone. Ahmed Musa absolutely nailed on the Kelechi Iheanacho as well, played quite well. We saw the withdrawal of Mikel into a deeper position in the midfield as well, yield a lot of benefits for the team. So a few decisions for the manager to make, but like you always say in football, you don't change a winning team. That is an out for Geno Roy. You can decide to start with the same first 11. Maybe like I said, he might be tempted to start Tyrone's, whose enthusiasm, his endless running, his boundless energy on that left-hand side, gave us a bit of verve and energy in an area where it looked like we had nothing going. that I think might just be his big decision. But from every other position, Romero was phenomenal in defense. We saw Mikel Anthony playing well as a double pivot. There was energy and creativity to some extent. Rihanna just rolled on play, bringing Musa into play. And Moses, what can you say about him? That run for the second goal is something that we'll remember for a long time. So big decisions for Ghana Raw. It might help us though that there is a bit of tension in the Argentine camp. We are ready, for instance, that the manager Sampaoli has pretty much been shorted aside, even though I do not believe that we heard that Sergio Aguero might not be starting because he had an altercation with the manager. In all, the Argentines right now is not a peaceful camp. They have had a lot of issues because of their. They have had a lot of issues because of that embarrassing loss to Croatia. We feel Nigerians that camp should not settle so that we can prey on their weaknesses, so to speak, because if they play to their best level, we've seen in every single World Cup game that we have played, that even though we run them close, they usually get the victory. But this time around, Nigeria is due for it. We are hoping that the boys are going to run. To do what it is that they have to do to get all 3 points. If they can't, 1 point might be enough to take us through to the next round. Hopefully they will do what it is that they have to do. Big decisions for Ghana Raw, and we're wishing the boys all the best tomorrow.
Thank you so very much, Biola, for joining us. I mean, you had a guest yesterday. Well, I have my own guest as well today in Mutiu Adepoju. And Mutiu, see very much in the studio. Mutiu, as we wrap up the show today, if I told you you're going to leave a prediction for the Nigeria-Argentina game and Croatia-Iceland game, what would that be?
Well, I don't normally,
like
I don't like predicting. But
what would you rather be your approach to that game? Actually,
the approach, is go for winning because if Argentina also have option of qualifying, they are not yet out, and as I said, they're going to come all out as a wounded lion. You understand? So. And you're not sure what Croatia is going to present against Iceland. Iceland is having 1 point, and Nigeria we're having 3 points. Argentina is having 1 point. So if Argentina, God forbid,
win, Mutiu doesn't even want to think about it.
I don't want
it's
to
all
think
about
about
positivity right now. Yeah.
That would be that they are ahead of Nigeria, and then Nigeria will be out. So. That's, we should not just, but we have to be very careful, and we have to take that game very serious. If they have been playing the last game, at 100%, we want them to put 150% of their capacity into that game because Argentina is not going to be easy. As I said, I keep repeating it. Then you don't know what Croatia is going to play against. They're already qualified, so they might want to step down. They might want to calm down and say, although they will want to, win the 3 games, but anything can happen. If Iceland, should win, that's another problem. So we have different problems.
Do your own job.
Do your own job and don't depend on anybody. That's just my advice and all that.
Absolutely. Thank you so very much, Mutiu Adepoju. And of course, like I said, Mutiu Adepoju is a Nigerian national football team star. He's an ex-international. He's played the game to the highest of heights. And boy, oh boy, are we excited to have someone of his caliber in the studio. Thank you so very much, Mutiu. We wish you the very best in your future dealings.
Yeah, great. Thank you.
Thank you so very much. Absolutely. All right, guys, that's a lot we can take on the show today. And remember for a fact that you can also go to our YouTube platform. That's AFI1 Mobile. That's our YouTube channel, AFI1 Mobile. And now do well to subscribe to stand a chance of winning amazing prizes. Smartphones, recharge cards, as well. I beg your pardon, take that again. Smartphones, vouchers, and cash rewards. My name is Babajide Guerrero, and from all of us, we say Soar, Super Eagles, Soar. Unstoppable Eagles. Go get the win against Argentina. Bye for now.